Well, to unpack the day one of the debate, let's speak to political analyst Professor Dirk Kotze, who joins us via Skype in Pretoria. Prof, good morning to you. We'll come back to gutter politics that play themselves out in Parliament in a moment, but let's touch on the President. Recently, Nomazizi Mtshotshisa, a professor at University of Johannesburg, spoke about a president who's become a lame duck. I read part of what another leader, well, a former leader of the DA, Tony Leon, wrote, and he spoke about a president who is slowly losing credibility. John Steenhuisen says, Mr. President, you held all the cards. You were in charge. You were the man. What is happening? Is President Ramaphosa losing the plot here?
Well, I think we have to understand that this is a debate which is, in the end, a political debate. It is between the different political parties, and the criticism obviously comes from the opposition parties. I think what they are realizing is that they've given President Ramaphosa a lot of opportunities in his first year and a half, almost 2 years as president, and that for their own sake, they will have to be seen now to be really playing the role of an opposition, and that means that they are not so over-impressed by President Ramaphosa that they don't have their own voice, they don't have their own ideas. We are also approaching, in about a year's time, the local government election. So from there, purely from a party interest point of view, they have to present themselves in their own right now, and I think this debate is possibly the best opportunity they have there to present themselves as, in terms of their own identity, in terms of their own political programs. It is in essence a debate, the SONA opportunity to present the different views of the political parties, of the government, as well as the opposition, official opposition and other oppositions, and not simply to endorse President Ramaphosa. I think the public is not looking for that type of absolute consensus that exists. And I think that is why they are doing it. So it is not, it's in a sense talking in hyperboles. It is saying more than what they actually mean. For example, in the case of John Steenhuisen, I think it was quite a balanced speech of his, because on the one hand he criticized President Ramaphosa, but on the other hand he also gave credit to him, especially with regard to some of the aspects of ESCOM. But he criticized, for example, the way in which the national health insurance policy is implemented, the land expropriation is implemented, and then present the alternatives of the DA.
Yeah. Prof, the president in the public's eyes right now, does he look like someone who can steer this ship in the right direction? When I talk about the ship, I'm talking about the situation of the jobs in the country, the job losses that are on the cards, many companies threatening to cut jobs. The economy as a whole is not doing well.
Yes, the economy is the main emphasis. That's the main focus of the SONA address, was also on the economy. At the same time, President Ramaphosa said very explicitly in the SONA text that it's not the government alone that can do it. And more than 10 times he referred to the idea of a social compact, and the social compact with a view to establish a master plan in several sectors. For example, the steel sector, the poultry, the sugar sector, the clothing and textiles, and several others, as well as in the electricity sector. And his approach, therefore, is to say this is about a partnership between the private and public sector. It is as well as labor, as well as other interest groups and civil society in general. So what he's saying is that don't expect from government alone to be able to present this sort of miracle that we are looking for at the moment. So I think he was quite realistic in that respect, to not create the expectation that the government can deliver everything, because that is simply not possible.
Yeah.
And I think more and more of the public is starting to realize that, for example, ESCOM, the role that private power producers have to play in order to solve the problem. And the same applies also to job creation.
Yeah. Prof, as a final question to you, of course, we saw the House descending into chaos once again. Julius Malema, very clear in his words, he says, I'm in charge of this House. How do presiding officers regain control of that House?
Well, yesterday was a very difficult day for Mr. Amos Masondo as chairing the session. Because I think if you look back, there was clearly a plan by the EFF and Julius Malema in order to reach the point where they are now. They lost the opportunity with the original SONA presentation to be there and to make the impact in this, but they already started to disrupt the situation there. But this is a very important opportunity for all the parties to present their views and to present themselves to the South African public. And the EFF had to do it, but still object in principle to President Ramaphosa and use and raise their other points. So that's why they used all their time in at one session or in one session in order to present it. I think the test is, or the judgment is going to be made by the public, whether this was making an impact on this on the other political parties and especially the ANC, or whether it was an abuse of their position in Parliament. I think what Malema was trying to do is to present an alternative, and what we've heard in these clips that you've played is how very much their paradigm or their philosophy differs from that of all the other parties. It's very much a statist or state-owned or state-driven approach to the economy in all respects compared to the other parties. Right. But where they stand now, I'm not sure. I think there are huge differences of opinion of what is the impact of the EFF on the public debate.